Welcome back, everyone. Republicans are calling Obamacare a job killer after the latest CBO jobs report. But the Obama administration continuing to say that's not the case.
There is absolutely no evidence, and every economist will tell you this, that there is any job loss related to the Affordable Care Act.
And Vice President Joe Biden echoing Secretary Sebelius' message, saying, quote, there is zero evidence that this is costing people jobs now. So as the midterms get closer, should Democrats hedge their bets, apologize for Obamacare to save their seats? Here for a fair and balanced debate, Emily Tisch Sussman, Democratic strategist and campaign director with the Center for American Progress Action Fund, and Joshua Nass, college radio host and founder of Voices of Conservative Youth. Great to see both of you in studio.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. All right, so Emily, on the one hand, you have Secretary Sebelius saying this is not costing any jobs at all, even though the CBO, well, begged to differ. You have Vice President Biden saying the same thing. Is she actually making the job more difficult for Democrats who have to face up to the reality that they all voted for this thing?
They voted for it, they'll be running on it, and they should be running on it. Just to address the CBO report for 1 second, it actually doesn't say there's job loss. What it says is it eliminates job lock, like being locked into a job. And this is something that bipartisan across the aisle, McCain was calling for it in 2008. It means that people aren't going to be locked into their job just to get the health care. They'll be able to move more freely. This is good for the economy. This is good for people who want to move into jobs that are better suited for them. It is good. So as people start to see that reality and start to see the realities of what healthcare has been doing to make their lives better, one of them being moving between jobs, Democrats will run on it and they will win.
So, Joshua, do you agree with that? Because I'm sure that you see the CBO report differently with regard to jobs and maybe how the American dream has played out over a lot of decades. But do you think that Democrats should be changing their messaging and just come out and say right out, hey, I know I voted for it, it's not the perfect thing, but I'm here to fix it?
Well, Gretchen, Emily, from your mouth to God's ears, I sure hope the Democrats run on this, because that's an automatic win for us. We'll be taking over the Senate. The reality is this is an incredibly unpopular bill. And in order for it to succeed, you need 40% of our generation of young people to sign up for it. They only have got 25% so far. They've got ambassadors out there trying to advocate and on behalf of this bill, trying to market it. They got Magic Johnson, Adam Levine. I don't know who's next, maybe Jon Stewart. The reality is they're just not going to get from 25 to 40%. And I'd like Emily to please explain why it is that the CBO said that by 2017 you'll have 2 million jobs lost as a direct consequence of this.
All right, Emily.
Sure. So it actually didn't say 2.5 million jobs lost. It said that people will decrease the hours they're working by choice, which would be the equivalent
but who's
of
going to pay for their health care then? If they go home and work out their passions, as it was described by some Democrats,
take care of a sick family member.
Whatever the case is, but then who is going to pay for their medical care?
This is part of people going into the larger pool. This is part of diversifying the risk. We do need to get
in other words,
young
taxpayers
people
will pay
healthy.
For that.
No, but these are individual markets. These are individual insurers. That's why we have the broadened pool of the young and the healthy going in to diversify the risk.
This was from one of the Democrats, Joshua, saying that he's up for re-election and saying you can't sugarcoat it, talking about Obamacare. If you sugarcoat it, you lose all credibility. You need to acknowledge it. You have to tell voters that you want to fix it and improve it, but not repeal it, and remind them specifically of how a Republican repeal will hurt them. So it seems like some Democrats, Emily, are switching away, and Joshua, and saying, you know what, we got to blunt this thing head on and at least change the messaging just a little bit. Joshua.
You could change the messaging all you want, but the substantive policy measure itself, the piece of legislation that is Obamacare, is a disaster. Premiums are going up for members of our generation and for the elderly as well. And that's going to continue to happen because what this ultimately is a Ponzi scheme. Let's not forget, the success of this law depends upon the participation of our generation.
It does
if we don't go ahead and sign up for the exchanges.
It is young people, it is healthy.
Well, you know what we'll do? We'll save this tape, and after the midterm elections, we'll see which one of you is right.
We'll come back and discuss it.
We will. All right, Emily, Joshua, great to see you.
Thanks so much.